And when we got the news, we were just crushed. And, you know, many tears were shed as if he were somebody in the family.
Listen now, all you good people, and a story I will tell about a man named Mr. Bryan, a man that we all love so well.
He was carried by a special train, and thousands of people lined the tracks to watch it go by. His pallbearers were all United States senators, as his body was laid to rest.
In a pouring rain on July 31st, 1925, William Jennings Bryan was buried in Arlington National Cemetery in Washington, D.C.
When the Lord called him to heaven, for his work on earth was done.
Now, for many people, he was a hero. For many people, he was a villain. When H.L. Mencken heard about it, his first reaction was, "We killed the son of a bitch." But his public reaction was that God had taken a thunderbolt and threw it down to kill Clarence Darrow, but missed and hit Bryan instead.
I think people responded to Bryan's death very much in terms of how they had viewed the significance of the trial. Bryan's era is now over. This man who had loomed so large in the American political and cultural landscape for 30 years had now passed from the scene.
Two years after the monkey trial, Clarence Darrow and the ACLU challenged the anti-evolution law before the Tennessee Supreme Court. For Darrow, it was a mixed victory. The court overturned John Scopes' conviction on a technicality, but it allowed the Butler law to remain on the books.
But they didn't leave it there. They also directed that to save the peace and dignity of Tennessee, that no prosecutor should ever bring an indictment under the anti-evolution statute again. And so, while the law was technically upheld, it became a purely symbolic act.
Over the next 60 years, new laws restricting the teaching of evolution were passed by several states. One by one, the courts overturned them, including the law in Tennessee. Clarence Darrow received an avalanche of mail about the monkey trial. The letters kept coming for years. Many people, he said, had the evident mission of saving my soul from destruction. Darrow continued to try high-profile cases into his 70s. He died in 1938 at the age of 81. At his request, friends scattered his ashes over a bridge in Chicago's Jackson Park.
He's an interesting historical character because he has no successor. And you know, in a way, that's a great tribute to anybody in history, when you've literally got no successor, as Darrow does not have. There are no substitutes for Clarence Darrow.
John Scopes left Dayton soon after the trial, got a degree in geology, and took a job as a petroleum engineer in Venezuela, where no one had ever heard of him. In his autobiography, Scopes confessed that he always felt uncomfortable as the defendant in the monkey trial because he didn't remember actually teaching evolution. In 1960, John Scopes returned to Dayton, Tennessee for the first time in 35 years. He came for the anniversary of the trial and the premiere of a Hollywood film it had inspired, Inherit the Wind. The film's director, Stanley Kramer, invited the whole town of Dayton to see the movie at a local drive-in.
Give me that old
of those who felt shamed about the notoriety that the town got. I have never felt that way about it myself. We were the little town that we were. We were not what we were portrayed to be.
Glory, glory, hallelujah, His truth is marching on. We'll hang bird cakes to a sour apple tree. We'll hang bird cakes to a sour apple tree. We'll hang bird cakes to a sour apple tree.
After the premiere, producer-director Stanley Kramer attended a party hosted by Eloise Reed.
Kramer, the producer, came over and sat down beside me and said, "What did you think of the film?" And I said, "I didn't like it. I thought it was awful." And he says, "What do you mean? What did you not like about it?" I said, "It wasn't like that at all."
The trial did put Dayton on the map. People came from all over the world to see the courthouse where the Scopes trial took place. 5 years after the trial, in memory of William Jennings Bryan, a fundamentalist college opened in Dayton.
Fundamentalism did not die in Dayton. We all know that today because it's very much alive now. They built their own colleges, such as Bryan College, right in Dayton, Tennessee, and formed their own religious denominations that the elites in America didn't even notice.
I'm on the religious side myself, as a believer in divine creation. But on the other hand, many errors come out of our camp, as well as out of the other one, and it's good that they should be challenged. So I think the clash of these ideas, as long as the debate is open and honest, is all to the good.
I'm hoping that it won't take 300 years before all Christians can decide that it's okay for evolution to take place through natural selection or through other means, and still find that compatible with their faith.
The question was not solved. It will never be solved. Everyone in this world is involved, every living human being, in the answer to that issue.